Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I want to keep my remarks to the impact of the bill on laws that fall within the remit of the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. The Government's dashboard lists only 570 laws that DEFRA identifies falling in the scope of this bill. That figure alone would make DEFRA the most heavily impacted department in government. However, through the debate we had at Bill Committee, it became clear that maybe as many as 1,000 individual laws are at risk of being revoked by the Bill's Sunset Clause in December of this year. There are just not the resources in DEFRA to enable officials to properly examine each of these laws in turn in the time remaining before the sunset sweeps them away. Never mind all the other work on elms, sewage, waste, air quality and our commitments made at the Nature COP in Montreal. We will have a year of navel-gazing, whilst our nature is depleted further due to the short-sightedness of the government. Instead of clogging up the entire department with months of pointless work reviewing lists of laws that no one wants to drop, and I take umbrage with the Right Honourable Member for North East Somerset. There are no guarantees. The government are not guaranteeing a single one of these will be retained in UK law as time stands now. The government should prioritise their environmental commitments in the Environment Act 2021 and the 25-year Environment Plan, including the action and policies necessary to deliver nature's recovery by 2030, as well as the environment targets, whose statutory instrument is coming into law next Monday. Those should be the department's priorities. A definitive list of environmentally important measures does not exist. One could say the government have played themselves. It's the same old story, but there's still time to change the ending. We know that it's even more extensive than the comparable list of the retained EU law that provides critical protections for workers' rights and conditions. The inventory of workers' rights legislation is shorter and more easily identifiable. So there are important differences between the three domains of rights protection highlighted by Labour's amendments today, all of which would set us back on the right path and change the ending, although the bill really is unnecessary and we do need to retain all of these regulations and laws as minimum standards in this country. The environmental retained EU laws covered by the bill include major protection relying for clean air, clean water, safe food, as well as providing crucial safeguards for the world's most nature-depleted nation. Actually, not my words, not the words of the opposition, but the words of Government Minister Lord Goldsmith in the other place. Under the bill, critical environment protections face the prospect of being revoked without replacement or potentially being replaced by weaker regulations, which is a real and identifiable concern that we have. Because of the extremely limited time available to consider and draft workable replacements before the application of the Sunset Clause, and because of the lack of parliamentary oversight and public consultation, we must focus on those issues if we want the government to change direction on this bill. The government has said they are committed to maintaining environment protections, and I'm going to quote the Right Honourable Member for North East Somerset. He said, and actually I think he just repeated himself. This is already my speech from an earlier debate. The government is committed to maintain all the environment protections that currently exist and met a number of environmental lobby groups to confirm this. But there's no guarantee. It's just his words on the record, and he is no longer a member of the government, as we know. Well, as I mentioned him twice, I will give way.
I'm very grateful, because I just want to clarify a point. It's not really my word that is of any significance in this. It is a dispatch box commitment, which governments tend to be bound by successively. I would point out that on legislative reform orders, this government has tended to follow the dispatch box commitment given by Paul Goggins when he was a Labour minister. Dispatch box commitments are important.
I look forward to repeating back to him his words and the words to the government front bench, Treasury bench, in December of this year to see if that is true. Only time will tell. Maybe my poor level of trust will be wiped away and eroded, but I doubt it. So I'm just going to conclude to give others more time. The bill as it stands today gives us no such protections. A charter for the bonfire of rights and protections the public not just hold dear, but need to breathe clean air, drink clean water, and ensure that our countryside isn't ravaged by destruction and extraction. That is why I'm supporting our front bench amendments today and the amendments by my honourable friend from Walthamstow. Thank you.